Wonderful. Well, we are 1 minute past the hour here. So I think that we can go ahead and get started here. This webinar is being recorded. So I'm going to go ahead here and share my screen so we can get into it. All right. Let's see. Can everybody see our presentation over here all right? If one of the panelists can just give me confirmation in the chat. Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. So let's go ahead and get this started. Okay. So thank you everyone so much for coming out to part 2 of our training webinar series. So just to give everyone a little bit of a recap, last week we had part 1 of this series. We covered your customized dashboard, how you can set up your widgets to really tailor your dashboard to align with you and your various team members' workflows. We also discussed your individual shipment overview, so your layout and some of the different functionalities that you have available in your individual shipment. Okay, so I just want to go over the agenda of what we're going to cover today in this call. We're going to talk about your shipment and container overview, how you can utilize the data in these various pages to create custom team views and insights. We're going to show you your new communication and notification center, how you and your teammates can really tailor the notices that you're receiving to really work best for you. And then we're going to end by talking about your product database. So essentially showing you how you can upload products and how you can really utilize the tools available there. So I wanted to just let everyone know, if you have a question at any time, please type it into the Q&A feature that you have available in your Zoom here, and then we'll get to it. So my goal for everyone for the end of this webinar is that you all really feel equipped navigating in your shipment and container overview page, creating reports, making different data sets that really tailor to you and your whole team's workflow, as well as feeling confident in editing your notifications to make sure that you really are receiving meaningful notices from the platform. Okay, so some of the few main points that we're going to highlight for your shipment and container overview here are your customizable columns and robust filters. So these tools really enable you to tailor your shipment viewing experience. We'll show you how you can create automated reports, ensuring that your whole team is seamlessly updated. We'll walk through your shared views, how they allow your whole team to really work in alignment with access to the same information. And then we'll talk about your container level data, which enables you to have clarity into your various containers statuses. So we're going to hop over here into the platform. We're going to start in your shipments page here. So I want to just first point out some layout features that you have here. On the left-hand side, you have their view panel. We're going to talk a little bit more in depth about how you can utilize this in a couple minutes here, but I just want to show you that you can actually collapse it right here to give you a bigger view of the data that's actually on your shipment screen here. This is one of the features that you're going to see really consistent throughout different facets of the platform. You have the ability to kind of tailor how the data is being presented to you and to kind of collapse and expand some of these panels here. Of course, you'll notice this is your map here. Now, if you remember from our session last week, we talked about your dashboard and we showed you your dashboard map. This map is going to have the exact same functionality here. So we can see all of our various shipments here. You have the same tool as far as zooming in and out over here. And then pressing this will give you your different modes of transport, essentially, that are going to be represented on your map here. Now, I want to point out that if you, for whatever reason, when you're in here in your workflow using the shipments page, you wish to have the map collapsed, you can do that as well. If you just press this little eye icon right there, it'll go away. And then if we press show map right here, that's going to bring it right back out. So you can really tailor how you're viewing your shipment data here. So right up here at the top, these are essentially the two different ways that you can view your shipment data here. So what we're viewing right now is your standard list. We can see we have all of our column headers here with our different data points. Now, if we press on this button right here, you'll see that this is now showing you your hybrid card view. So you can basically think of this as your timeline view. We can see here that the timeline for each of our shipments is clearly represented here for us, along with our delivery condition and health score over here. If we press on quick view, it's going to show us some of the more granular details for the specific shipment, who the various partners are that are working in it. And then if we press see details, this will actually take us directly to the full screen of that shipment, so we can kind of work further from there. So as you can tell, these two different viewing options really have different use cases. If you're trying to come in here and really get a more zoomed out perspective of your shipments, viewing the timelines, that's a great way to use your hybrid card view. Now, if you're really looking to drill down on particular data points, use the different filters available and see a lot of data as far as like what people are doing in your shipment and these various details, then your list view is definitely going to be a good option for you. So that's just a little bit of an overview on some different ways that you can utilize the different views here. Now, with each of these views, you'll see you have your star option on the left here. Last week, we covered your watch list. So this is another way that you can add shipments to your watch list through either view by selecting your star icon that's right next to your shipment here. Now, I want to highlight some of the different actions that you have within your shipment screen here. So we'll use our transiting shipments here, for example. Right here, we'll see this checkbox. So if we actually go ahead and select that, it'll select everything that is on your current screen. You can also just choose to select only specific shipments if you'd like. Once we do that, we'll see our menu bar is going to appear right here at the bottom for us. I want to highlight a few key features that you have available here. You can select multiple shipments to be applied to your watch list at one time. You can also create a shipment queue. So let's see what that actually looks like. Now we are in our full screen of the first shipment that's in our shipment queue. So the way that you can think of a shipment queue is essentially going to be your task list, essentially. So if you have a specific subset of shipments that you know that you're going to need to go through them all and kind of take some different actions in them, this is a great way to utilize your shipment queue. It generates the list right here at the bottom for you. We can skip through our next shipment. Once we've kind of done the work that we need to within this specific shipment, we can go ahead and exit the queue. Now, something that we do recommend when you're utilizing shipment queues is when you're done with it to press the X right here to just kind of clean it out and give yourself a fresh slate for when you are coming in to do your next work. All right, so let's hop back to our shipments tab here. A couple other actions that you have available here that I wanted to go over. Export CSV. So any shipment list that you're viewing, you can instantly download it and send it off to your colleagues or partners, whoever needs to see the data. Now let's talk about your view panel over here on the left-hand side. Something that I think is pretty neat about your view panel is that as you're going through these different views and categories of your shipments, your map is actually going to update to show you only shipments that are in that subset. Now, in your other views, you see that these are essentially predetermined views that are here for you. So these are basically correlated to your different life cycles that your shipment is going to go through. So we can see here the number of shipments that we have living in each of these predetermined views at a time. We can also see how many filters are applied. So with all of these, there's only one filter applied, as it's just designating shipments that are in that specific life cycle. So above this, and you also can use this little arrow right here to collapse that and kind of make it a cleaner view for yourself. Above this is where you actually have your shared views. So if we go ahead and press this, these are going to be your custom team views that you and your colleagues have set up. So here we have a couple examples of how you can use these shared views, shipments that are missing particular document type, shipments that have a low health score, a view specifically for your accounting team showing your quoted versus invoice charges, or shipments that need approval. As you can see, if you hover over any of these, it's going to give you the option to edit it, and it'll also designate to you what one is your newest view, listing it right here at the top for you. So let's actually walk through the steps of how we could create a custom view together. If we press on new right here, we can see here that we have our filters on our left and our customized columns on our right. So with our filters, you can see right away that there are a couple of predetermined categories here for you. So we can view shipments that are only on our watch list, for example, shipments that are in a certain delivery condition or in a certain health score range. If we scroll down here, now we see our docs/releases section. So this section is where you can actually view your shipment list according to what documents or releases have already been processed. So this is a really great way to stay on top of all the various documents that are going to need to be coming in for your shipment. As we all know, there are a lot of different documents and deadlines working in shipping. So it's really important to work ahead of the curve instead of working reactively once your shipment is already arrived and then you're really scrambling. So this is a really great way that you can kind of be the person who is the hero in your office, because you can raise a red flag that, hey, we have a shipment that's coming in and we actually don't have this specific document, and it could lead to a delay. So that's a really wonderful way to use this tool right here. You can just select include or exclude for any of these different document types. Now, if we keep going down, we'll see our manage filters right here. As you can see, these are all broken out by category, so it makes it really easy to browse through and locate filters that you may want to apply to your specific shipment view. You can also use the search button right up here to search a specific filter type. As you're applying filters, they're going to populate on the right-hand side for you. So it makes it very easy and intuitive to keep track of what filters you're currently applying to your view. Now I want to hop over to your customized columns right here. So you're probably noticing this looks quite similar to our filter section right down here. So what's the difference between these two areas? With your filters, this is essentially what information you are deciding to have fed into your shipment report, kind of on the back end. With your customized columns, this is how you determine what data actually shows up as a header on your shipment view within the columns. So I'll give a specific example of how this might work. If you have a report that you need to send to your specific client, you know that they are going to be the consignee for this specific report, because that's the person that you're sending it to. So you can set that filter, but then not necessarily have it applied as a column. And this really allows you to save that space on the report for a different data piece that might be more impactful and meaningful, because you know that this client is already the consignee. So maybe you don't actually need that to be listed on the report, but you can still track that it's there by using your filter on the back end. So that's kind of one way that you can utilize this tool and really have a clean report and choose what data is presented on that report, regardless of what the parameters are. Now, if you'd like, you can also have it be completely, synchronized. So whatever filter you apply, you also have as a customized column. That's going to be totally up to you. Now, in a moment here, we're actually going to walk through the steps of creating a custom view, but I wanted to show you a couple other things on your shipment screen first. So right up here in the top right, you'll see filters. So now you're probably saying this looks exactly like where we just were with our new pathway right there. The difference is when we went to our new pathway, we were actually starting the process of creating a custom view that we're going to save. Now, when you press on your filters button right here, this is essentially just updating what is being applied to the current view that you're having, not necessarily saving it as a custom view. So this is a really great place to start if you are looking to create a custom view, but maybe you want a little bit of a starting point. This is how you basically would do that. All right. Another way that you can apply a filter to your specific view. So for example, let's go to our transiting shipments right here. You'll see each of your headers right here. Now, these columns basically are dictated by what we have selected here. So if you want to see less, you can come in here, toggle these off, and press apply changes. All right, so for example, let's put a specific filter on our view right here. If we want to view shipments that are only going to Chicago, we can add that right here. Now we can press apply changes, and our shipment list is updated for us here, showing us only shipments that are going to Chicago. Another way that you could do that would be to utilize these 3 dots that you have next to each of these. It's going to give you the same functionality to edit the filters. And as you're kind of refining your view by utilizing these, it's going to update your filters on your panel right here. So that's just a couple of the ways that you can kind of play around with these different filters. Now, if you want to take a step back and kind of undo the filter you just applied, you can easily press this reset view right there. And now it's kind of bringing us back to where we just were. Now, if you want to, let's say we only want to view our shipments that are coming from a specific port here, we can do that. And then if we make a change here, you see you have to save this view right here. So that'll allow you to really easily quickly save a custom view. So let's use our specific example here with our Chicago. If we go ahead and apply, now we could press save this view. So this is going to ask you to name the view. You could quickly just label this Chicago shipments, and then that's going to save it for you over there. So that's one way that you can kind of use some of these predetermined filters as a starting point, build your custom view from there. So now let's actually build a custom view from scratch together. So we are going to go right up here to our new. So right away, let's make this a list showing us our delayed shipments, because that's going to be really important for us to see. So we'll name it delayed shipments. Now to start here, we know we want this to show us shipments that are in arriving. So we'll go over here, we'll select arriving, and now we can decide what information we actually want to show up on this report. So we definitely know we want to see our PO number and whoever the consignee and the shipper is. That's going to be important for us. And we definitely want to see our conditions since this is our delayed shipments. And then let's see, we definitely want to see our arrival. So let's save this view and see what it looks like. Alrighty, awesome. I also want to point out, if I didn't already, that you can arrange the columns. So you can hover over it, pick it up, drag it around. You can also hover over this to make the specific columns bigger or smaller. So we all know that different people want to view data in a different order. So that's really where this customization aspect comes into play here. So we can see our shipment view that we've created. We can see up here that we've created our delayed shipments view. So let's say we actually realize that we need to have, in addition to the arrival date, we need to have the departure date listed. It's really easy to update your view once you've saved it. So we'll press on edit here. We'll go to our customize columns. We'll scroll down to our tracking and we will find our departure date. Apply changes. And now our view is updated, showing us the departure date as well. So in order for this to actually save within your custom view, you're going to want to press save this view right here. So I do want to point out at this time that when you're working in your shared views, these are shared amongst your whole team. So if you and your colleague are both utilizing and kind of collaborating off of a shared view, and one of you goes in and overrides it, makes a change and saves it, that's going to override the previous version of that view. So in an attempt to keep the peace with you and your colleagues, we definitely recommend if multiple people are working on one view, just check with them to make sure they're okay with the update being made to the view, or you always have the option to just save it as a new view with that tweak made. Perfect. All right. So now you've created a custom view. What else can we do here? As mentioned, we can export it to a CSV, send it off to our colleagues. You can also hop right to your container list right from here. So if we press on view container list, now we've hopped over to our containers page right up here. Right away, you'll notice this is very similar visually to your shipments page. It's also very similar functionality. So you have your views on the left-hand side. You can create your shared views. You can export it to CSV. All your filters are available up here for you. The main difference between your shipments list and your containers list is that your containers list has each container listed on a separate line. So if you have a shipment that has 10 different containers in it, as many of us know, that might have multiple different last free days, scheduled delivery dates, other granular data like that. So it's going to be important that you have the ability to designate the exact last free day or any of these other data points on a per container level, whereas your shipment list is just one line per shipment. So due to this, you're going to see some different filters and columns that are available for you from your containers tab to your shipments tab. So an example of a shared view that we've created in here would be our inland last free day. So now once we've created a custom view, we might actually want to take it one step further and have this information dropped directly into our inbox. That's something you can do here. So if we go to the specific view and then we press create schedule report right here, we're going to have this side panel over here. It's going to ask you what you'd like to name it, who from your team wants to receive it, how often you would like to receive it, and then you can go ahead and press schedule. So now when you start your day, you can have whatever data is most important to you sitting in your inbox waiting for you. So now you've set up a couple scheduled reports. You may be wondering, where do I manage these reports? That brings us to our Insights tab right here. So if we actually go ahead and press on our Insights tab, this is going to show us all the different types of scheduled reports that you and your team can set up. You can do it for your shipments and containers like we just viewed. You can also have automated reports from your product tab, which we're going to look at in a little while here, and then your statement report as well. So your finance team can actually have a report showing them invoices that are due in the next week, allowing your whole team to just really keep your freight moving. So anytime you need to add a new team member to a report, change a data point, update the frequency, this is where you're going to go to manage all of your scheduled reports. All right. So now we've kind of walked through some of the different functionality in your shipments, your containers page. I want to go over some of the specific ways that you may actually use these. So you can create a custom view for shipments that are at risk going to a specific delivery location. As we mentioned, you can track your last free days on a per container level. You can generate reports showing your scheduled versus actual delivery dates for a specific trucker, enabling you to analyze their performance at a really high level. You can answer a question by exporting a shipment list directly to your clients. You can investigate and take action by running through a queue of shipments that dipped into a lower than average health score. You can also ensure your documents are received timely, as we discussed earlier. All right, so the next feature that I wanted to go over with you is your communication and notification panel. So this is where you're going to be able to update all of your notifications and messages and really go through them. We will cover your adjustable alerts, allowing you to tailor what you're notified by and how you can really manage all of your notifications directly from this panel. All right, so we're going to hop over here. When you're in the platform, you'll see your communications button right here. So if we press on this, it's going to show us anything new essentially that's happening within our shipments. We can see they're broken out by your notifications and your messages here. And at the top, you have your only show unread. So if you want to just view your new ones, you can easily do that here. Now on the left, you'll see there are a couple different icon types. That's basically just visually letting you know what type of notification this is from your documents, quote submitted, and arrival notices. Now, when you're actually working in the platform, these notifications are going to come through and you'll see a little box appear in the corner, letting you know a new quote was just submitted. Now, when you're not working the platform, they'll all collect right here for you, letting you know what happened while you were gone. If you hover over any of these, you'll see you have a couple options. You can mark it as read, or you can go to the link. So this is just going to take you right to that full screen shipment, so you can kind of take action further from there. Now, if you do mark one as red or you open it, you'll see that our top one here is gray and then the rest are blue. That's just the difference between a read notification and an unread notification. Now on the right here, we have your messages. So functionality is going to be very similar here. You can hop right to your shipment and respond to your message, as well as marking it as read. So once you've come in here, you've kind of done everything that you need to, you can press clear all, wipe your whole slate, and then you know that every notification you have tended to it. All right, so now you have these notifications. You're probably wondering, how can I edit these? So to do that, you'll want to press on your profile icon right at the top and press settings. Once in here, you can select notification. So these are the different types of notifications that you may be receiving. You can come in here and easily toggle them on or off. For example, if your accounting team only wants to see notifications that are related to their invoice, they can easily do that right from here. All right. Perfect. So the last topic that I wanted to cover today is going to be your product report. We all know how crucial it is to have accurate product data recorded to ensure seamless transportation of our goods. So within our product report, we'll show you how you can import your entire catalog within seconds, customize your product report layout to really fit your needs. Just like within your container and shipment page, you can utilize filters in your product report. All of these tools really allow you to meticulously record your product data and to also analyze historical data of shipping trends tied to all of your SKUs. Alrighty. So once you're in the platform, to access your product report, you'll go to that profile icon we were just at, and then you'll press products. So right away, you can notice that the layout of this is very cohesive with all of the different screens we've been working in today. You can collapse this bar on the side if you want to have a more full view of your product data. You can also have a couple actions up here. So you can download it to a CSV, send it out to your teammates. You can also create a schedule report. So if you have one particular SKU that is super urgent, you can create a report to be delivered to you so you can really keep an eye on the movement of that particular SKU. Now on the left here, you have your view panel. So these are basically those different life cycles that we covered, but relating to your actual products. And on the top is your shared views. So this is how you can actually create those custom views for you and your team. Now I want to point out on the right side here, you have this option here. So this is another one of the ways that you can really tailor how you're viewing your product data. If you'd like it more spread out or more condensed, that's totally up to you. You can also drag these different columns around, dictate how big they are. So really you can tailor this screen for whatever you need. Now, I want to point out that you can also use filters on here. So you can use them in the same way where you can press on these three dots to kind of give you more options right on that specific filter point, or you can add filter right up here. So for this example, let's look at a specific SKU number here. We want to search the SKU, we'll press apply filter. And now our product report is showing us shipments that have this specific SKU in it. We can also see our granular data. So quantity, how much the duties cost, and even how much the duties per piece that we've imported have cost. So that kind of granular data really is a powerful tool to be able to have centrally located where you're managing all of your other shipments. All right, so now I would like to cover a few specific examples of how you can actually put these tools into action. You can confirm your HTS code once and have it stored for future use in the platform. So I know probably most of us have been in a situation where you're scrambling to figure out the HTS code or confirm it at the last minute, leading to customs delays, which nobody wants to be in that situation. So it's really a great tool to be able to store your HTS code right in the platform. You can send a report to your team, for example, shipments that are on the water containing one particular SKU. This will enable your sales team to go out and sell that product with confidence because they can actually easily come in here and see, oh, we have X amount of pieces that are on the way. You can generate a list of specific SKUs tied to a commercial invoice or purchase order. You can also extract granular data. So this really gives you clarity into your full cost after duties. Very powerful to be able to use this. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here today. I want to remind you of some of the resources that you have available to assist you when you're actually utilizing these tools. So you have in-app training guides. As you are going through the platform, exploring new features, there are guides that are going to automatically launch for you. They're going to walk you through, kind of give you the lay of the land, where you can go to do different things within that specific feature that you're viewing. These guides are also available in our Help Center under our interactive training section. So to get to the Help Center, you can always access it directly from the platform by pressing on this magical question mark icon on your navigation bar. You also have Shippabo's training team. So if you have any questions or want to know more about something, we're always available to support you. As mentioned, this webinar today is being recorded, so I will provide that to you as well as the recording of our part 1 that went along in this series. So you can really reference it in the future if you need, and also share it with your team who couldn't make it to this call today. So everyone can really be equipped with the tools of the Shippabo platform. Okay, so that is just about it for the material that we have prepared for you today. Thank you so much for coming to this webinar. We really appreciate it. We hope that what we have presented today is really helpful for you as you're navigating through the platform, and that it makes you feel more equipped to confidently use the platform. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. I don't see any questions in our Q&A so far. So if anyone has a question, feel free to raise your hand right now. Otherwise, I think that we are good to go here. As mentioned, thank you so much for making the time for this. We really appreciate it. And let us know if you, have any questions or want to know anything more. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day.